Hello and welcome to my pure data sonification patch. I will be showing you today the general idea behind my patch, how to use it, and then how it works. Okay, so the initial idea behind this patch was to compare two different metals, mapping their attributes to sound. Okay, so you can first of all select your two metals here at the top using this radio here, and you can pick whatever metal you want. And this for the left hand side, this for the right, and then you have here is the interesting bit. This is the attributes of them. So you have the melting point is a low pitch, boiling point is a high pitch, and they're directly mapped on. So if you increase the melting point or the boiling point, that increases the pitch of their oscillators. The resistivity is a distortion, so the resistivity of the metal maps directly onto the drive of the distortion unit. Density is mapped by reverb, so the more dense an object is, the less reverb it will have. And radioactivity is simple on off. If a metal is radioactive, that'll activate this it's a bandpass filter acting as a sort of warning signal, so it's a pulsing sound. Okay, so if I load up these two, compare the melting points of these two metals, and you can scroll through. I can change the volume. You can hear that it works. You can hear the similarities in gold and copper there. They've got very similar melting points. I turn on the boiling points for those two. Hear that. The resistivity, the density, and the radioactivity. Obviously, neither of those are radioactive. You can also turn everything off. If we turn on, just say, if I just want to compare the density, then that's fine. If I turn on the density, that play triggers a test tone. So I can just compare the density of these two metals. Or I can do the same for resistivity and radioactivity. That's just so, because the only pitches generated are from the melting point and boiling point, if you only want to compare any of these attributes, it generates a test tone in this patch. So it's just a bit of logic here saying if these two aren't on and any of these are on, then trigger that to a yes, and that goes straight into our main patch here. And this has everything in, so that comes in here, so that will allow this tone to come in. And then here's the main sort of bulk of it. This is synth 1 for the left hand side, and this is synth 2 for the right. So basically you have your numbers come in here. This is melting point comes in, reads from these arrays. It tells you which melting point I want to read, reads it in, and then maps that through to this oscillator here. It's the same as done for boiling point, except it's not divided by 5 because we obviously want this as a lower tone, so it's divided by 5. Resistivity is read in here, and then it takes it here into this switch. So if the resistivity is turned on, then that puts a 1 into this switch, and that makes the overdrive 1, so the signal is unchanged. Radioactive is also turned on. Similar way, it's just a little bit of an AND gate here, so it tells me if I want it on, then it'll put in a 1 there, giving me a 0.5 oscillator, a little LFO, which goes into this bandpass, and that gives you the sort of sweeping variance, giving the nice little warning sound that we're looking for. And then density is again put through here, and then we flip it around so that the more dense it is, the less reverb. And that just controls the wet and the dry there, and you can bypass this by turning it off. And then it's exactly the same for the other patch. And then we just put them, everything comes through into here. These are the two individual volumes. Here's the main volume and the mute button. And that's essentially how this patch works. You turn DSP on and off. And then that's that bit. We have the GUI here, which is simple. It's just the symbol at the top, so you know what you're looking at, and then the nice little color feature just to make it look nice. And then the final thing I have to show you is here is the control to PD sort of thing we've got here. What I'm using an external interface here into PD using OSC messages in using the iPad app control. So that comes into here, and you can read this patch, this external interface. So what I can do there is I can scroll through all my metals on both sides, control either the volumes here the master volume and make sure everything's at a nice level. I can turn things on. One thing I haven't shown you yet, which I'll do whilst I do this, is I can just go, wrong one, if I go to Technetium, there's that pulsing sound I was talking about for the radioactivity. I don't think that was on here. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? So I can have that, I can turn everything on, sweep through my metals, add my mute button, I can turn master volume, I can turn this one up. All using my external interface just to make everything a little bit easier to use. So that's about it for this patch. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching.